Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to address this conference, although from far from the United Nations headquarters in New York. I am Daniela, the Director of the Division for Social Policy and Development within the Department of Economic and Social Affairs of the United Nations. We believe, this is a very important moment for holding a conference on families, particularly considering the crisis that many countries in Europe are still facing, and many countries in Europe are only slowly recovering from the negative consequences of recent financial and economic crises. Indeed, over the period 2008 and 2009, the world suffered the worst financial and economic crisis since the Great Depression that happened in the 30s. So global economic decline disrupted economic growth worldwide and caused setbacks in the achievements of the Global Millennium Development Goals. From a human perspective, the crisis also disrupted lives of families in Europe and beyond. In 2011, my division issued its biennial report on the world social situation entitled The Global Social Crisis. According to this report, beyond negative economic consequences for families, the crisis was a leading cause of family breakups, with some countries reporting an increase in domestic violence linked to the crisis. We also know that there has been a significant impact on children and parents, and they had to make cuts in nutrition, health, and education expenditures because of the crisis. Some research also indicates rise in family homelessness, declines in fertility rates in developed countries, but also rising number of multi-generational households with family members coming together in order to cope with housing and other costs together. Based on ILO findings, we know that work-family balance related expenditures have been also affected by austerity measures. Families are still mainly seen as beneficiaries of development rather than its active agents. So what we are doing, we're trying to change this perception and demonstrate that investing in families and family-oriented policies and programs is simply worth it, and it should be a part of integrated rather than sectoral approach to development. So how do we go about it? Well, this brings me to the main topic of my message to you today. The work of my department on family issues in the context of the preparations and observance of the 20th anniversary of the International Year of the Family in 2014. That's where I want to focus. As you may know, the international community has recognized that the family is the fundamental unit of society, entitled to protection by society and the state, and acknowledged that notwithstanding different family forms and structures, families are fundamental to social development. So, focusing on families can serve as a comprehensive approach to solving many persistent development challenges, such as intergenerational transfer of poverty and inequality, as well as other societal challenges such as lack of work-family balance and intergenerational disconnect. So this understanding made us realize that we needed to bring into sharper focus the three main topics so important for families and policymakers worldwide. Namely, they are confronting family poverty and social exclusion, ensuring work-family balance, and advancing social integration and intergenerational solidarity. These three themes were designated by the Commission for Social Development of the United Nations to guide the preparations for the 20th anniversary of the International Year of the Family. These issues are closely interrelated, and we think that they will only grow in importance in the years to come. What we are trying to do, we are trying to demonstrate that poverty reduction efforts are closely linked to work-family balance policies, aiming to support working parents in being productive individuals while ensuring the physical and emotional well-being of themselves and their children. In turn, intergenerational solidarity is often manifested by economic transfers and care support from one generation to another. As your conference is mainly focusing on finding work-family balance in economic context, then let me address this issue in more detail. From social policy point of view, leave, work, and care policies and programs have the greatest impact on work-family balance. We all know the importance of parental leaves and especially maternity leave as contributing to children's well-being and better nutrition. But there is a growing recognition that the leave of fathers is also important. This is not just for children's and fathers' benefits, but actually for a greater gender equality as well. We can see that paternity leave is becoming an established part of parental leave policies in many European countries, with some countries also introducing so-called father enhancement schemes, which use incentives, compulsion, or penalties to encourage an uptake in paternal leaves. Yes, there will be a short-term direct cost of granting leave to working parents, but this cost will be compensated by economic and social gains in employment retention and also human capital development. Besides parental leaves, affordable, good quality childcare services are critical to the economic security of families, especially vulnerable and single-parent families. In addition, we need better out-of-school care programs, especially for parents in non-standard and in inflexible jobs. And finally, flexible working arrangements are really important and appreciated by employees with parenting obligations. Research indicates that employees are more productive and loyal when they have flexible working hours or part-time work possibilities. So, as a note to employers, it pays to be flexible. Let me also emphasize that although most working place and care provisions are designed for working parents of young children, flexible working arrangements are necessary for employees who care for other members of their families, be it older persons or persons with disabilities. And this is an important aspect of intra- and intergenerational relations mentioned earlier. In conclusion, I would like to quote the Secretary General of the United Nations, who said in this annual message for the International Day of the Families, "We need to respond to the ever-changing complexities of work and family life. I welcome the establishment of family-friendly workplaces through parental leave provisions, flexible working arrangements, and better childcare. Such policies and programs are critical to enhancing the work-family balance. These actions can also lead to better working conditions, greater employee health and productivity, and more concerted focus on gender equality. Work-family balance policies demonstrate both a government's commitment to the well-being of families and the private sector's commitment to social responsibility." My final word to you then is, let us promote work-family balance for the benefit of families and society at large. I hope your conference will contribute to the achievements of this very important goal. I wish you every success for this very productive conference, and thank you again for having paid attention to what I said and for having invited me to share with you some of our thoughts and our actions and what we do here at the United Nations. Thank you.